about grammar in specific, but we speak, and I think like learning that different sounds, we could improve our pronunciations. And the other thing, maybe some slangs, idioms, and something about the culture there in other countries who speak English.
Okay, nice. Thank you, Camila. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I remember those classes too. Um, cool. Matias, your turn.
Oh, I remember two words you always say is output and input, what can help us to improve our English always, and input like uh, reading and listening, and output speaking and writing. So it's a good thing we can always do for improving our English. And another thing always you said is when you are feeling you uh, go through a new step like breakthrough,
Breakthrough.
breakthrough. Yeah, I remember those words. But a lot of classes with all classmates, I have Annie, Andres, Camila, and others. But I think
Okay, and what do you expect to learn? What do you expect to learn for?
um but what I want to improve my English. Yeah, but I want to learn more about different topics. But always in what I am studying now about my career, who is programmation, and for work, I am uh, I always get um, I am always getting better my knowledge about something like that integrity, which my with a topic um, or a matter I always learn about it.
All right, Matias, thank you. Okay, let's go with Moises. Moises was on today on time, very punctual.
Thank you. Well, one class that I remember was actually in a speaking club when we tried to describe some words. And I like it so much when you use a web page that generate different words. And each person need to explain or give some hint to the other to, to, um, to the other to try to find out what is the words. And it's something that I like it because when you try to speak in another language, you always try to describe what you try, where you thinking. And the others was the other class that was with you, Axel, wherein you teach us about the simple sentence to change for the formal way to change the sentence. That was a really interesting class. And what I want to learn for the future, for the next year, is maybe improve my pronunciation and improve my vocabulary and in this point, how to describe my thinking, how to describe to others how I'm thinking, what I want to express.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you, Moises. Okay, so for Diego that just came in, very quick, I told them to share one or two things that they remember they learned this year in classes, and one or two things you expect to learn in the future. Okay. So while you think,
Okay.
Diego, While you think, Carlos is gonna share. Okay,
Okay.
Carlos, your turn. You're muted.
Okay. Yes. In my case, the two things that I remember was the class that we talk about the personal speech, and it was very useful in my career. So it I can handle more when I am talking with somebody in English, especially in work. And to get the general information, specific information, to get new words, to get new vocabulary. So all those things help to me to improve. And one thing that I wanna improve, it's to be more confident using the past participle, because I am comfortable using present, past, and future, but with past participle and two part verbs, when you put the the subject in the middle of the two part in the two verbs. So I want to improve that to be more confident in using that kind of
Structures.
sentences.
Okay. Did you
Structures,
see?
yes.
Did you see that I posted one in negative with haven't? So that's well, you can start learning those phrases. One thing I suggest is learn functional phrases, and that means common phrases, things that you would use in a certain moment. Okay. All right. So let's listen to Diego. Diego, if you got something you can share.
Okay. Well, for me, I I learned, I remember a lot of things, especially the topics when you explain to us how to describe routines or presentations. Um, I I learned, or I am a bit fluent to speak. This is for the way that you learn to ask, um, and the free that you have to ask to talk. And for the next year, I hope will continue with the school. Try to improve my speaking.
All right. Wonderful. All right, Diego. Diego is being a long while coming to classes. I think from the
Yes,
beginning too.
I think it's good.
Yes, yes, yes. So yes.
I think
All right.
yes.
Welcome, Christian.
Only only thing is better. You and Felipe, very interesting.
Cool,
Good
cool.
people.
All right. So Christian, welcome, and Gabriela, welcome. So you guys, if you want, you can catch up. I said, what is one thing or probably two things that you learned or you remember like a class, a specific thing. So they've shared several experiences, and I think that's great. This is like a recycling activity to remember. Oh, this is something I remember and I liked. So it's one or two things, and also one or two things you expect to learn in the near future. All right. So if you want, you can share. Christian has been also quite a while.
Okay. Hi. Good night, everybody. Okay. So one thing that I remember in the past classes are the the program. You Axel, you show us a program in the participants need to present their idea or their enterprise in a short time. like in a minute. So I remember that class uh, because well I really I how can I say relacioné.
Related?
I related that program with the way in the way the way to make business. Okay, um, so it's very important to create a business or to get an investment. Uh, that part, yes. To how to explain your idea in a short time. And another thing is that we need to focus in our goals, and if we can make mm, a a board with images and that represent our goals, like that car that you want, the house of your dreams, something like that. That's it. I remember that thing, two things right now.
You know that Camila was here also a moment ago, and she also remembered that class about the vision board. So I think it was a good class. Okay.
Yes, it was.
All right. Thank you, Christian. And Gabriela. Welcome, Gabriela. So do you have something to share, Gabriela? I remember a class here in, this is a secret. I remember Gabriela said that she couldn't, because she's working, so she couldn't travel or be with other people because she could get in problems at her job, you know. So I remember that once she told me that she went out, I don't know, she traveled, and it was like no one knew that she traveled. So I remember that class.
Um, yes, and one class that I remember is that one that I had with Felipe. He talked about the bias because we are inconscious influenced by the physical aspect or beliefs that we have. So that one was interesting for me.
Okay, and what's something you expect to learn in the future?
In the future, I would like to improve my skills. I want to speak fluently. Yes, that is one the thing that I expect.
All right, thank you guys. So I just want to share that yes, I probably can remember many classes, and although I give classes to a lot of students, I remember certain things, and that's one of the things I like about these classes, that you can have memorable experiences. Okay, and I think those experiences come from the conversations that we're having. And again, one of the focuses that we have in school is that you guys understand what's going to make you more attractive to the marketplace. And what is that is the skills, you know, the skill set that you have. It's not, well, English is going to help you, but if you have other skills, you can combine this, like your professional career. It's going to give you an advantage in the marketplace because you're bilingual, so you manage, you're going to be able to connect two different cultures, right? So just by being that, you're going to be very attractive to the marketplace. And the world is changing, you know, it's easier now to get into an international market than it was before, thanks to the digital world, thanks to the internet. So I think that things are just starting. And you know, you never know what can happen in, I don't know, in some months, or I would say just probably in 2 years. 2 years is not a lot, not a lot of time. So one of the invitations I have is that you focus on your skills, And it's interesting that we're gonna have now a pause that's coming, that we're gonna like after the next week is gonna be like rest of a little bit about of English or from English. My recommendation would be one, a detox, you know, like a digital detox, if you have the opportunity to get away from screens and so many things. Definitely do it so that you can be like renovated, right? So don't worry. I mean, it's gonna be the experience of getting away and then getting back to a routine of English, of studying and practicing is really good. You know, I think it's part of the process because it's gonna, when you come back, you're gonna probably feel a little rusty or something like that. The faster you catch up, you know, or that process is going to make you confident. Okay. So that's one of the things that I want you to keep in mind. Also, some important things that I'm going to talk about now is so you know that I've spoken about, for example, Carlos mentioned it, is the general information, specific information, new information. You're in this level, legend level, normally the new information is going to be very little, right? So you can focus on developing or mastering different skills. Okay. How do you master a skill? And that is, for example, comprehension and vocabulary is going to be focusing on vocabulary, making a list or lists of this new vocabulary, this new information related to new and technical and advanced topics, because that's going to be the difference. You know, in any language, in Spanish, how many people talk about engineering stuff? How many people can talk about laws and taxes and those kind of things? You know, it's complicated. So that's going to depend on you, what topics you're going to find, and you're going to be able to have a nice conversation, you know. So focus on that. Now in this advanced level is mastering different skills. So master this technique of general information, specific information, new information. Watch a lot of TED Talks, right? We're going to watch a lot of TED Talks and we're going to identify, okay, what was the specific information here? What I'm going to give you a homework. So there's a talk. I don't know if we've seen it, and it's a stroke of insight. I'm not sure if that's the name, and it's called Dr. Jill. Let me see. I'm gonna look it. So I'm guessing it's something like that. Jill Bolte Taylor. Let me Google it. Okay, but then so get those videos in on your own. I mean, by yourself. Try to do this activity. Okay. All right, I'll look for it while I'll continue. Okay, so the next thing I always tell you to really master is the different questions. It can be a simple concept, but you have open questions and closed questions. How you use it, how you consciously use closed questions and open questions is going to help you develop your communicative skills, right? Because closed questions, like the function is to like close a conversation or to like close a topic, and then you can present another topic. So again, we kind of do this unconsciously, but when we're learning, again, we're training ourselves in a new language or something, we have to start using these, okay, open questions, closed questions intentionally. All right. So keep that in mind. Another aspect. So I heard several of you are interested in how to improve like pronunciation, right? For that, you have to keep practicing the repetition rule, right? You know the repetition rule, right? So no, Gabriela says she doesn't. Who wants to teach Gabriela what's the repetition rule?
Nobody knows. It's not just me.
No, they're shy. I don't know why they're shy.
Is that you watch a video and you try to repeat the thing that the person is telling you, but with the same, like like really repeat the same sounds, the same actions. Yeah, imitar the person of the video.
That's one part. That's
Yeah, but another is to repeat the word until 7 times. If so complicated, more time and repeat it. Entrepreneur. I remember that word. Entrepreneur.
Okay, so I put it, the repetition rule is 4, 7, and 3. When a word is easy, a word or a phrase, now you're in the level of complicated phrases. Okay, so if a phrase is difficult, you want to repeat it 7 times. If a phrase is easy but it's new, you want to repeat it 4 times. Okay, and when you practice it, it was like Camila said, try not to repeat like a robot, but like a native person is saying it. So if you saw it on a TV, on a movie, or in a series, you're gonna repeat it just like you heard it. Okay, and 3 also means like slow, normal, and fast. Okay, so that you don't, so you can untongue your twist or untwist your tongue. Okay, so that in that case you're not sounding like a robot. Okay, so that's like the secret. Believe me, even I do it when I listen to something that's kind of difficult. I repeat several times, and I try to do it fast and slow and then faster, and this is a little hack for the pronunciation. But yes, the other technique that Camila said could be mirroring. All right, mirroring or imitating. Okay, but then there's this, for next year we're gonna do a lot of impressions. You know what are impressions? Does anyone know what are impressions?
Like a toe. Toad.
Voice impressions. So let me share my screen. Okay, the TED Talk I told you, it's this, my stroke of insight. Really, really good. Like not only in the English side, but in the talk side. It's really interesting. You can learn a lot of how the brain works. So I think I wrote it correctly, right? Okay, so now let's look for voice impressions. This is funny, okay? So hopefully no ad interrupts our class. Okay.
It's me, Brizzy, and here's 100 voice impressions. Stay tuned to the end for a very special secret announcement.
It is called Aunt Wormy's Mud Pie. Look it! Who's this little guy? I don't know, but throw him in. The firstest things you got to do is get lots of mud.
Who cares about your stupid dancing, teacher? I can't go. I'm supposed to marry Prince Joffrey. I love him and am meant to be his queen and have his babies.
I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
So, Meg, your birthday's coming up, huh? You excited about turning...
In my world, you wouldn't say meow. You'd say, yes, Miss Alice.
I was circling a brook drain the other day and could swear I saw a bit of Polyjuice potion. Not being a bad boy again, are you, Harry?
You bet me for a nickel!
My name is Marcel, and I'm partially a shell, as you can see on my body. So...
All right. See? So those are voice impressions. You got it? So there are many videos of this, but, well, who can tell me what is voice impressions? You already saw the video. Who can give me a definition?
Yeah, it's like an imitation. It's like how express different sounds or voice sounds or voice notes, different kinds of voice, something like that.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that it sounds funny, you know, it can sound like hilarious, probably a little mature, but it's training your voice, you know, it's training your voice cords and stuff. And you get to fluency or certain native pronunciation by doing this, because you're going to be imitating exactly what you hear. So you're training your ear and your mouth to do those sounds, okay? Exactly like other people. And sometimes your voice sounds a little different, you know, because I sometimes think that my English voice sounds different than my Spanish voice. And then I think then I hear myself and I think it's true. So that's going to happen, okay? That's going to happen. And that's that's that technique, okay? So let's do a little speaking class. All right, let's divide in groups, a little speaking activity. Let me see how many people we have. All right, so what we want to do right now is, let's see, I want you guys to use 4 open questions, okay? And you're not going to be able to answer all of them, but prepare really good open questions that the function of the question is that it has to make the other person talk, okay? So it doesn't have to be like the typical question, where are you from, what do you do, you know? These questions have to be a little more profound, so you have to think a little bit more for these questions. Honestly, they could be easier if you think in like a sincere or an honest way of really getting to know more about the person you're talking with. Okay, so I want you guys to prepare four in total. You know, 4 with your partner. You can discuss the questions or the answers with your partners, but 4 in total. 4 profound questions. Okay, so you guys can join your small groups. Okay.